the centerpiece in the middle. And that way
Yeah.
Greg can focus on the computer.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So yeah, like I said in the email, this time we're because a few of y'all have sent me stuff, and I think it makes sense to uh, just go over some of those things, um, get some real feedback so we can continue the momentum and keep the energy going. So yeah. We are starting a few minutes behind just because we're switching location. So just bear with us. You know, taking my clothes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So look, this is the mic.
Okay, cool. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Anyone on live?
I'll do this for.
Sovereign Cinema Sessions, office hours. Office hours. Welcome. I need to. Let's bring this one over here, just so we can have the one for the live. This one, move it over here, just as a stand for this iPad. Welcome to Sovereign Cinema Sessions 4, office hours. Okay. Where's it best? Here. Or, or on the table.
Oh yeah, I can't. So
Maybe I should have.
it's got some magnet.
Well, I mean, they could do a bunch of things. That's a little more straight.
Yeah, yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
How's it better?
There we go. All right. Oh, the camera's moving with me. Cool. Is it gonna follow? Or did it seem like it was? Okay. Hey, how you doing?
We're good.
Yeah, man. How you been? Okay, so Brad, you can come sit over here. Why don't we start um with Brad? We'll move. Yeah. Um, we'll move this over here, and well, just have a seat right here. So
You sit right there.
sit. You want me to sit?
Yeah, have them sit right.
Yeah, can you sit right here for a second? So how do y'all feel about the do you know anything about how this works?
No.
Okay.
I've
How'd you find out about
yeah, so I never went to film school. I never did anything like that.
it? Okay.
I actually was turned on to your work by a mutual acquaintance.
Okay.
And then some years ago, I
Can you move this over here? Huh? No, I'm saying, can you move this over?
I got it.
Okay. If we move the books out, we can just. There's nowhere to grab it on this side. Oh, you got the sticky fingers. Okay. Cool. Um. Okay, so I'm just here to kind of. So, what this is like it's a weekly conversation
Mhm.
around all things filmmaking.
yeah,
So I feel like we need to share more
sure.
with each other
Mhm.
as filmmakers. Um, the industry is in this interesting liminal phase currently where it's changing drastically. I mean, the movie business started. Who knows how the movie business started? Does anybody? Do you know where it started? You know, it started in New Jersey. So movie business started in New Jersey, and then they had like a movie business started in New Jersey, and you know Thomas Edison like owned everything. Edison, like he was kind of gangster with it. He was like, and it's still kind of gangster to shoot in Jersey, but like he owned like the cameras and the equipment, so you couldn't really make anything without this guy. And he's like, you had to get past him essentially to make anything. This is like back in the 30s or something, 20s, 20s, 30s, something like that. Don't quote me on the year, but it was Edison. So he did more than just the light bulb, right? And so folks were like, we're going to get as far away from Edison as we can. So they went all the way to the West Coast. They went to California, right? And literally started the Hollywood studio. And at the beginning, it was like, the weather helped, of course, year-round sunshine, et cetera, et cetera. So at the beginning, it was like it was a monopoly. It was a vertical integrated system where like the studios owned everything, and so the studios owned the talent, right? Like, these Clark Gable, these guys would have like deals with a studio. Like, you are our actor, and we're gonna pump out 5 movies a year with you. We're gonna do this or that. They own the writers, they own the equipment, they own the sound stages, and they own the theaters, right? Movie studios used to own the theaters, so they used to make all that money and just rinse and repeat. So suddenly, in like the 40s or something like that, maybe 50, I don't know, something like that, comes the U.S. government was like, y'all making too much money, y'all are making too much bread. And there was something, I think it was called the Paramount Decree or something like that, the Paramount Decree, where they said you cannot also own the theaters. So they sort of had to split that up, and then things changed drastically. You could imagine how much that would change, because then the theaters started taking a huge cut of the theatrical profit, right? Which they still do to this day. Theaters take a huge profit. So then after that, I need to turn on this do not disturb. So after the theaters, uh, um, after the theater separated from the studios, that changed a lot. And since then, we've been going through these waves in this business. You know what I mean? So like now, so then obviously the wave of theater to DVD, where DVD was the cash cow, and everybody's making all this money off DVDs, and suddenly Netflix came along, and within a decade, that all changed drastically too. So now you have a business that was like a huge part of a movie's a lifespan, a movie's journey, to go to theaters, to go to DVD for purchase, to go to Blockbuster, et cetera, gone completely inside of a decade. Um, and then the streamers came along, and now we're in this weird place where there's, I think, I don't even know what to call it exactly, but it's a huge consolidation happening. Studios are eating each other. Um, there's becoming less and less places. The business Hollywood, whereas it left to begin and boom back in the 2030s, is now doing the opposite. It's decreasing. There's something like 35%, 40% less jobs in Hollywood right now. And what does that mean? You know, that you don't see any shortage of stuff being made, do you? Every time you turn on the TV, there's not enough time to watch all this stuff that's out right now. So what does that mean? It means that there's opportunities for people to make stuff outside of Hollywood, wherever you are. It's just those who are going to be creative about it, those who are going to um, be pioneers with it, that are going to be relentless about it, those that are going to have the original ideas. Um, and that's what this is about. That's why it's called sovereign. You know what I mean? Because gone are the days. Well, it's changed so much, and we are in the process of the next big change. It makes sense to get in the room and talk to each other about how to participate in it and how to be effective within this massive change. And so far, um, I've managed to do several films. I've managed to go around the world with them. I've managed to. I'm in development for other films. But here in Detroit, I'm like, why not get in a room every week and just talk about this, and see if we can collectively like build each other up around here. So, and beyond, which is why we got the folks on Zoom here. So, oh, that just messed up my life. Hold on. Can you go downstairs and get this guy? Can you give him your card?
Okay.
They're coming down to get you right now. All right. Hey, yeah, yeah. So we're in a because things have changed a bit. What's going on? IG, Facebook, everybody on live. Um, we'll try to get some of your answers this time too. So, but this day, where was I? Anybody remember? Got a few logistic
So
things
about
going
getting
on.
people in Detroit involved.
Yeah, yeah. Let me send this Zoom link to a couple folks. There's one. Hey, hey, hey. Sorry for the pause. I need to. There's a couple people trying to get in. Um,
This is really cool. I mean, even, before this started, I didn't ever think it would be possible for someone to read something of mine, so I'm just
yeah,
happy to be a part of it.
yeah, of course. Just give us like 30 seconds, yo. I'm trying to make sure that everyone is, and some people downstairs. Yeah, yeah. Um, mm. What's up, bro? It was only him? Okay. Okay, we're back. We're back. So, where we are right now, um, this is Sovereign Denim Sessions number 4, and we've been meeting with, we've been talking to folks in the chair, and with each, the idea behind it is that, like, I feel like uh, everybody can do something right now towards the project that they're trying to create. You know, um, there's long been uh, a process of which has its value, the educational process, the institutional process, which is a sort of 6-month waiting period, then uh, maybe 2-3% get in, and then another year or two of like building, which has its value. But I thought, like, what does a room look like where several folks can be in the room? We can sit across, we could figure out something that I could potentially say that could steer you in a different direction, whereas it could help to not go down this road for 2 or 3 years when this road isn't necessarily going to get you anywhere. You know what I mean? If you could just be nudged this way a little bit, and if there is something I could provide, if because I don't know for sure. I'm not a guru, I'm not a professor. I'm a filmmaker who's managed to, through it all, still make stuff, and still get my stuff out to places, and still create. So that's what this is about. And so we'll do, this one will be a little different because we're going to be giving more feedback today. Um, but there are a few people who haven't sat in a chair who we haven't talked to about their story, such as you. And then once we do the chair a few times, we'll do some feedback. I've looked at everything that y'all have sent me, and if you haven't sent me some, if you haven't been in the chair, then you'll have your chance to get in the chair too, and see if we can get somewhere with the story you're trying to bring to life, with the barrier you're trying to break through, with the block that you may have, whatever that may be. Because what I think it could be valuable about this is that, like, nowadays there's like 10,000 videos online that you can watch, but a lot of times it's like, what is specific to you? And I think that's the thing that really could make a difference here, because everyone's journey is so wildly different, and especially in this business, there's so few people that make it through the same way. Everyone's journey is so much different, and I think that's what we want to accomplish here, is figuring out what's specific to you, uh, to to potentially help you take a step forward in the direction you're trying to go. So, and then after we do the chair bit, we'll have a Q&A, and then yeah, we'll go from there.
Cool.
And also, like, talking insight into the stuff I'm doing. I'm like about to get into this rewrite, for this, for my film, that I'm writing. I'm about to start a film, shooting this summer, fall. And then there's another screenplay I need to get into before I start that one. So we'll get into all that, but for now, let's start with my man here, Brad.
Cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Of course.
So just a very quick, backstory here. I started writing this story probably maybe like 8 years ago.
Mhm.
And it was just a thing I was doing for fun, kind of as just something to kill the time. And then as, things in the world happened, I kind of then just was like, well, I could kind of mold this into, the script, into, make something that's going on in the real world about, and work it into the plot here and things like that. And, I finally, it didn't take me that long to finish. I working generally, hour or so a day. I did it in like 6 weeks, but I went into the thing I know you had mentioned in a previous session about the constant rewrite, the constant revision, where you read something and like, oh, I should rewrite this or I should revise that. And
Yeah.
so I basically just did that for a long time. And then after some time, I sort of just discouraged myself, and then I sat on it for a long time. So when I found out that this was happening, I really just said, you know what? I just don't want to wait anymore. I just want to get in there. I want to, get some insight, and I want to see what it could be, if anything, and if, anybody else found value in it. And so I have, a roughly about 40 pages that I feel pretty good about.
Mhm.
I mostly though, I had a couple of questions that I had thought of that I thought maybe might benefit everybody if I asked them, that maybe someone else is going through the same thing.
So hold
Go-
on
yeah.
one second.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
First, what do you do exactly? You're a writer.
Yeah. So I write for fun, but I've never
Okay.
actually written like professionally. I'm just a normal guy. I go to work
What do you
and
do?
I work. I used to be a bartender, and then now I work at an insurance office.
Hmm.
It's a perfectly fine thing to do, but doesn't light my soul up. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah,
The
yeah,
writing is something that I do to just for myself to to explore my own creativity.
yeah.
But up until now, I had never let anyone read anything that I wrote.
Wow.
So I always believed in what I had, but never enough to put myself in an out of box
Yeah, yeah, of
situation or
course.
an out
There's a lot of people in that situation. Okay, so what do you what what inspired you to begin writing?
Mhm. So again, going back to when I was a kid, I would write stories, and then I sometimes I would like turn them in for school, but most of the time I would just write them and then I would just put them off to the side. And so I've always written, but specifically with this one, I started writing, lost somebody, years ago, and I just started writing a story that was like kind of about them. But then over the time, as things in the world happened, I became reflective of things happening in the world and how I see them and how other people might see them differently. And I just kind of took those themes and I just kind of worked them into the plot of the
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
So I feel as if what I've written is kind of a way that it's a way that I would explain to somebody my opinion about something that's happening out there. It's,
yeah,
you know, I think right now in the world, you have a lot of people that don't see things clearly, or they see what they want to see,
yeah,
or they need to be shown something a certain way to really get it. And that's
yeah.
kind of the idea behind the story is I want to have a story about a fictional person, but that when a person watches it, they're like, that's kind of like that thing. That's kind of like what's going on out
Right,
there. And I
right,
hope that
right.
they get it that way.
Right.
And
Okay, okay. Uh ideally you're looking at you want to become a screenwriter. Is that what you're saying?
I I
Or
think that
you want to get this story out
yeah, so
by any
right now it would be
means?
about this story. So again, I have other things that I have sort of started, but again, until this came up, I never really considered me that I would want people to see it and then I would want people to say, yes, that's good, let's talk about it. Or, hey, if you want this to be out there, you have to do X, Y, and Z. So
Yeah,
that's really just where I'm at now is I view this as the first step. I've put myself out there.
yeah,
I've taken that chance. I've, opened myself up to, potential criticism,
yeah.
but I'm ready for it. And whatever happens after that, I'm good with. So
Okay. Um so you've sent your script.
I
I
did.
haven't read it
Yeah, it's
yet.
okay.
Okay. I haven't read it yet.
Based upon the timing of the messages that went out and
Right,
everything, I
right.
didn't get mine into you until
Right.
late last night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's right.
So,
Okay, you didn't
and
turn it. Okay.
I know a lot of people are submitting shorts. Mine is
Right.
obviously much longer.
How long is
So
it? What is it?
40 pages right now.
Okay.
I read it out loud to
Right now,
myself.
how long do you want it to be? Is it a feature? Is it
Yeah, so I read it out loud to myself right now. It took me about an hour and 40 minutes.
okay?
So that's kind of where it seems like right now.
Okay. Okay. So
How much time do you give yourself to write?
I don't typically structure it. I really just when I think of something,
Mhm.
I just go in and I just start it. I think of something that's good. I go in and I make a revision, and sometimes I'll sit there for 4 or 5 hours
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just go to town.
So
And
you're like committed to this.
when I'm inspired, I am. When if it's just something I think of, I might just go in 20 minutes and
Yeah, yeah.
read this. But um, when I'm inspired, I can put something out pretty fast.
Okay, and where are you on the level of screenwriting? Have you studied it on your own?
Yeah,
Have
so
you taken some classes?
I've never taken a class,
Okay.
but I've always
How did you figure out how to format your screenplay?
yeah, I just did what I thought made sense to me. I thought if
Mhm.
I put this in front of somebody, could they read it? Could they follow it? That's all I did.
Do you have it somewhere?
I have a paper copy. Yeah, it's
Can you pull it out? Let me just take a look at it.
so
And you want this to be a movie specifically, not a novel, not
story. Yes, I would
okay.
think that that's what I want. So
Okay, let me see.
yeah, go ahead.
What you got, like 6 fonts right here? This thing is like mad small.
Yeah, so somebody I finally let somebody read it the first time like earlier, and they did the onward where you have like revisions on the side.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's supposed to be, thank you, I'm sorry. That's supposed to be like the where like the notes are, but I basically just updated the notes. I added what I wanted and I took out what I didn't. And so I there's no notes in there anymore. But
Do you mind if I read some of this out loud?
yeah, that's fine.
Cause I feel like have you ever like read, have you ever done a table read? Have you ever like read to people?
No, I've never done anything like that.
And this is the piece, right? Like sometimes we just need to be stretched, you know. I can see it in your eyes that this makes you feel away. Even me asking you that.
Okay.
Does that make you feel away?
Yeah, I mean,
Good.
I'm
Good.
nervous.
Like we
Just
have
like
to we have to stretch.
yeah,
We
I
have
mean,
to we have to, you know,
yeah, I mean,
we have to do something that makes us uncomfortable sometimes.
yeah, I mean,
So just the first paragraph.
sure, yeah, go ahead. It's
Okay.
I mean, I'm
So this is a, or do you want to read it?
you can read it. It's fine. I whatever. I don't mind.
You read it.
Okay.
Okay. The first, starting at
All
the,
right. Yeah.
read like,
So I wrote this again, just exactly as I would envision it being on the screen. Cut.
do you know what you're doing right now?
What am I doing?
It feels like you're pre-apologizing for your work.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You like anybody, when you start something, sometimes you'll walk in a room, if you're in a pitch, if you're about to read something,
Mhm.
you might say, before you even start, you might say, hey guys, look, I'm not really good with people. I'm not really good at public speaking. Y'all ever do that? Anybody? Hey, look, I'm not normally this. So you already told this, you're
Mhm.
where you are.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Just do it.
You look at that thing and then just read the first paragraph.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, scene 1A. From black screen, focus comes into white maze cage to which a mouse wanders through several different hallways. After a few turns, mouse comes into a small tube sticking out of the wall, takes several sips of water from this tube, then turns around and walks back toward another hallway. Another feeding tube becomes visible. Mouse takes several more sips of liquid from the tube, turns around and continues walking. After several minutes of wandering through, a door slides open and a new pathway opens from one of the walls. Then scene 1B now, so
Okay.
this is the next one.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
That's some good descriptive writing. Watch this.
Mhm.
From black screen, focus comes onto a white maze cage to which a mouse wanders through different hallways. After a few turns, mouse comes onto a small tube sticking out of a wall. He takes several steps of water from this tube, then turns around and walks back toward another hallway, where another feeding tube becomes visible. The mouse takes several more sips of liquid from the tube, turns around, and continues walking.
I got it.
So it's like from a black screen, focus comes on to white maze, Cage, you know? Now, I get it, bro, but like it's like this kind of thing is the thing that can
I got you.
we got to stretch in every sense, you know? All that you're feeling up there, good.
I'm ready.
Good. You need to feel that more.
Yep.
Because there's something here you can write. But you got to get it in a screenplay format.
Okay.
If you want this to be a movie, it's got to be in screenplay format. This is in short story format right now. You know? Yeah. This is here. Let me grab something real quick.
Go ahead, yeah.
Hold on. What's up, bro? And this is relevant. This is relevant to what a few of y'all we were talking about last week. I know we were talking about this, Ricardo. I know. Get this book, The Hollywood Standard. Now, this is for formatting. You know, there's other books, but this one is incredibly helpful. It's been useful for me over the years. I still go back to it sometimes. Like I've really leaned into my own style that I have now, and I'm really like how I write. But like sometimes I'm like, because this is going to be your format is going to be. You don't want that to be in the way, you know? When someone is looking at your story, you don't want that part to get in the way. You want them to just get into it. And if they don't like it, let it be because they don't like your script, not because it wasn't written right. Not everybody's going to like your script. In fact, most people aren't, you know? It's going to get passed on, it's going to get no's, etc. But like, don't let it be because you didn't write it properly. You know what I mean? And so with you, it's like, start there, man. You have the energy, you have the stories, you have the words to write. So you got to start to learn how to be a screenwriter specifically.
Okay. We'll start there, yeah.
Yeah, start there. Start by getting this book.
Done.
Does anyone have this? You just ordered it? He just ordered it just now. That's what's up.
Yeah, don't waste any time.
Yeah. Get this book. Start there. And so by the time we talk again, have this book and yeah, that's your thing to do by the time you're back here.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. You don't got it. That's fine. We'll go to this Zoom. I feel like I invited. There's some people. Y'all got the Zoom invite, right? Okay. Because a lot of people are hitting me saying they didn't get it. Okay, I'm gonna keep this down here because I'll probably use it again. Rodney, how'd you pick this up without having a? Never mind.
It's a small.
We're about to show that you're stronger than me out here, bro. Okay, we're gonna go to Zoom because we got a lot of feedback to get to. Well, why don't we start with Jay Nicole just to introduce and say what's going on with you.
Right.
Hey.
What do I need to say?
So we need to understand what you're doing here, um what you're doing here, what do you do specifically? Are you an actor? Are you a filmmaker? Just kind of, like turn it a little bit this way. Yeah. Well, you could just turn the iPad actually. The Zoom is on. Okay, cool. Yeah, so what are you doing here? What do you do specifically? Um, and yeah, what do you want to get out of this?
Yes. Thank you. I'm an actor. I am a filmmaker as well.
Mhm.
I am here because I'm currently working on 3 shorts that have the running theme between the 3 shorts is womanism.
Womanism?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm. And I'm here because I love and respect your work so much, and so I just want to
Oh,
glean and
thank you.
gain from all the knowledge and wisdom that you can give me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate that.
They're more than just-
Okay. And you're working on 3 shorts.
Mhm.
And where are you with these shorts? What stage
Um,
are you?
so 2 of them are in the ideation stage, and
Mhm.
then one of them I have an outline for.
Okay.
Mhm.
2 of them are in ideation stage. So they're just kind of ideas that you're
Um,
considering writing, or you've
Maybe
jotted
a
down
little
some
bit
notes
behind.
around them.
Yeah, like I have a working summary, if you
Mhm.
will, with those 2. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yes, there. So okay, I can say more. The So the one that's concrete, the one that I haven't
Recording in progress.
is it takes place in Harlem. A woman who is secretly a sex worker, but also openly involved in this takes place in the late 20s, 1928.
Okay.
She's a sex worker, secretly a sex worker, but she is openly involved in the Black nationalist movement, and she gets information from one of her clients that a raid is about to take place at her building, and she has to decide whether she is going to reveal herself as a sex worker and be um, uh, and get the consequences of that,
Right.
from the movement, as well as the people, the man that she loves who runs the movement,
Right.
and save the movement or save herself and just keep her mouth shut, but then they get taken. That's one. The 2 that are in the ideation stage. So one is about Black women. It's a one person film. It's about a woman who moves through an actress, sorry, that moves through time in different bodies and eras. And she experiences the rise, the exploitation, the reinvention of Black female stardom.
Mhm.
And it forces her to confront whether she has true control over her image, and if that's ever possible. So she's kind of embodying people like Dorothy Dandridge and Eartha Kitt and Pam Grier and throughout time. And then the third one is that one I do not have a title for. And then the third one is called The Architects. And it's again a one person film. And it takes place in a strategy room. And so we see figures like Gloria Richardson, Joanne Robinson, Zora Neale Hurston, Ella Jo Baker. And then also I'm thinking I'm thinking maybe one person that kind of embodies multiple revolutionaries like Elaine Brown, Erica Huggins, Catherine Weaver, Angela Davis, but gathering around a table to talk about how they were the ones actually building the movement, but weren't the faces of the movement, and the narrative, and confronting the narratives that erased their authorship.
Oh, okay, great. These all sound wonderful. Now I want to know, when you say ideation, what does that mean to you?
So, like I said, those second two, I'm still kind of just formulating the ideas, like who exactly, like how exactly it's going to look, who the actual characters are going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been working on them?
I think I just started in February.
Okay. Can somebody go get the door? Okay. So these are recent. Two of them are recent.
All three are recent.
All three are recent.
Mhm.
Oh wow. So you've been at it. What happened in February to set you off this way?
You don't even want to know, Kasim. It is a weird story.
I don't want to know. I mean, for you to like go off and begin several projects, it must be a huge story.
Well, okay, so at the top of the year, I got really clear that I wanted to be the go-to actress for Black period pieces,
Yeah.
little known Black history stories, Black love stories. So I got clear about that at the top of the year, and then I had this photo shoot, this epic photo shoot, and I was like, I got to do something with these pictures because
Yeah.
this was too expensive to just post on Instagram.
Yeah.
So me and my best friend had a powwow, and we came up with this idea. Well, and then I just ran with it, and I'm like, yo, I actually think this is my calling. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do, is to create films,
Okay.
like little known Black history stories.
So can you write? You said you wrote one.
Yeah, I've written before. I've created films before.
Nice. And is your, so what's the thing now? Would it, if you in the next 6 months could do any of this, what would you do exactly? If you had what you needed, if you had
I would create
the right
film.
people,
I would make them. I would make the films.
you would make which one?
I would start with the sex worker one, but I would make all three.
So the sex worker one is the one that's like the one you definitely want to do first. If you could just make one of them, which one would it be?
It would be that one. Yeah.
Okay. And that one is an ideation stage.
No, that's the one that I have an outline for.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how far are you in the process of getting to an actual screenplay?
I think with the outline I have, I could start writing today. I could start writing next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to start writing today?
No, maybe next week.
Why not? Why not today?
Okay, maybe I can do a little bit because I have other stuff I gotta do today. But maybe I can do a little bit.
Okay. You got other stuff to do today.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is ambitious. Three stories. You know, interesting. You used to be able to sell stuff in the business. You used to be able to pitch people or like put something together with an outline with the right kind of, log line and this deck and all this. These days you have to write the thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, cause that story sounds fascinating, but these days you have to write the thing. You have to write the thing well, and for you, like, you got to start writing this thing because it's already there. You already have the years, the experience, the talent, to play that role. You gotta Michaela Cole this thing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know who Michaela Cole is? She's like the British actress. She's on HBO. She did this show on HBO. She had another show on Netflix. She's got, she's remaking Bloodsport with A24. It's like randomly, like I'm really interested in what that's gonna look like. But I'm sure she went in there and pitched some crazy interesting version of it. But like, you got to Michaela Cole this thing. You got to Issa Rae this thing. You know what I mean? You got to get out there and like, you're gonna put yourself in front as the actress, but you also have to say like, I have this dope script to accompany it. There are a few people who are gonna buy an outline right now. There are a few people who are gonna get behind an outline right now. A strong script though, with a person like you who's got experience, who's got like notoriety, who's got like a presence out there, who knows a specific space she wants to be in. That is a very specific space. The black female historical figures, et cetera, very specific. So you know that you're clear about that. Like, your issue is not like figuring out what you want to do. You know what you want. You know exactly a specific space that you want to be. And the journey to get there is, there are two big ways to get noticed these days. Especially, it's having a big following off something you made. You know, think like I just mentioned Issa Rae with her show. Think, you know, this guy just released a movie in theaters and made like all this like $40 million or something like that. I not Iron Claw, it was something. Anybody know about this? So a guy released a movie, but he made like $30-40 million because he had a big following on YouTube and decided he wants to be a filmmaker. So these are some ways to do it, or so you can have a big following and make something and do well with that, right? Or you can write something that's so compelling, that's so good, that people notice you that way. You know, Bel Air, for example. Yeah, exactly. How they rebooted that, how they shot something for that. Like, that was a terrific example of them reviving something and writing something, creating something that had to be noticed. And you, I mean, when I talk about writing, like, we got to take this big heavy weight off of it. Writing, like, oh, I gotta like clear it out. I gotta shit. Everybody's writing process is very different, but everybody's writing process starts with typing one letter on this computer. Literally, like that. That's how your writing process begins. Literally that. And you've started writing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's really that. We got to take this weight off of it. Ah, man, I'll start when I I don't really talk. I don't really. I'm very busy. I have two sons, who are 4 and 7, and are, anyone who has kids knows, like, 1000% from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep. I'm working on several projects. I'm traveling. I'm doing this and that. Like, if I'm on a flight, I'll write. If I'm at the office, I'll write. When my boys go to sleep at night at 8, like that time between 8 and 11. I might watch Pop the Balloon a little bit, you know. Don't judge me, y'all, for watching it. But I mess with that show. Like, I mess with that show just because of human behavior, and I love it. People standing there and like putting themselves out raw, and shout out to you for being on it. Um, but I'll write when they go to sleep. I'll write when they go to school. Um, and so for you, it's like, why not write a few lines today?
Okay.
You know, you have the outline.
Yeah.
You have a very specific lane that you've identified. You understand, like, women and figures that we need to hear from. You know, we don't hear from enough of them, and we and the world needs their voices right now.
Yeah.
And you have the stories and the skill and the ideas to put those voices back out there. So that's your thing. Start writing this weekend.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Thank you.
Ricardo, let's go to you.
Yeah, that's good.
What's good?
Good, man. Can't complain. I know last time we spoke about me reading some books.
Yeah.
I never got a list though.
Yeah, I know. I dropped the ball on that. So that's why
All good.
that's why I actually brought this today.
Yes.
You
that's
saw
on
this
my-
one,
I just
right?
Yep. I just
And-
put that on my Amazon.
Okay. Then
see
add
if
to
we can
that
get that.
Amazon Linda Seeger, How to Make a Good Script Great.
Okay.
Those are two. Linda Seeger's How to Make a Good Script Great was one of my first. I did for those I didn't go to film school. Film school has tremendous value. Um, I didn't go. I have a degree right now in criminal justice and pre-law. And you know, I was going to become an attorney, and there was a year uh before my senior year of college where I was down in Baton Rouge. I was down in Natchez for my family reunion, and my cousins and I went to Baton Rouge for a foam party. The detail is interesting,
I
but
almost died in one of those.
you almost died in a foam party.
I was
Wow.
young. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe stop doing phone parties. But on the way back, I fell asleep driving, and I woke up and I turned the wheel of this truck and it flipped a few times, and on one of the flips, um, it shot me through the side window, and my head broke the window, and I flew into the air, and about 40 or 50 feet across into the bayou. Now, anyone who knows anything about Florida, Louisiana, all these places, these are for for example, there are more unsolved murders in these places than anywhere in the country because people will just throw bodies in the bayou and the crocodiles will eat them. And if you can't show a body, you can't charge somebody with murder. This is the area I was in. So I roll into this barbed wire fence, which prevents me from going into the bayou. Which like so I got these scars on my arms right here from that. Um, and there's a lot more on my back, and my face was scarred up. And I say this to say, um, my cousins, they get each other out and like look for me, and I'm gone. You know, like I'm gone because I'd flown into the bayou somewhere, and like some guy drives up on it in his truck. It's like 3 a.m. This random guy who kind of knows the woods. You know, he hunts out there. He knows what to do and has a flashlight. This guy's like an angel to this day. You know, as he comes out and this flashlight, and they find me there, and my cousin like jumps on me and like starts hitting my chest and says I started breathing again. You know, like I don't remember this. I remember waking up in the hospital with my family around. But something interesting happens. Like I was studying for the LSAT down there, and those books they burned in the truck. You know, it's like if you didn't have a metaphor before this that you do now, you know. And I laid in that hospital bed, and they were like, "Well, you survived, but you have these contusions on your brain, which they may swell over the next 48, 72 hours, and you might not live, you know." And I had to like force this out of them because they don't be telling you that. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm a football player. Tell me the truth. Why are y'all keep coming in here? Because I mean, there weren't like some nurses coming in here. It was like doctors like coming in here, checking me, you know, and I'm like, tell me the truth. Why y'all keep coming in here? And I pushed them, and they're like, you may not make it. And so in this next 24, 48 hours, I said, well, if I don't make it, I don't know that I've done so much with my time here. You know, like I don't know that I've said what I wanted to say. I don't know if I've impacted any lives. I don't know. And it was then I said, well, prayed about it. It's like, well, if you get me through this, you know, I'm gonna do what I feel like I'm put here to do. And went back to school. I finished with that degree, but went full on into filmmaking prior to me beginning to shoot those movies in the Brewsters and sell the DVDs. That was the before all that started. Like 20 years ago. So all that to say is like we have what we got to do here, then we have what we have to do here, you know.
Yeah.
We have our job, whatever, but like whenever I get some time, like I have to do this, man, like writing. And so with you, I was able to get to to Zebra, and um it is a powerful, compelling concept, um one that there's absolutely space for right now. um uh I love how the beginning, there's a, you flip it on us when they're talking to folks and you realize they're talking to other people. That was dope. That was dope how you did that, and
Thank
very
you.
very original. I'm not even gonna say it really because I don't want nobody to use that. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And 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 I'm interested in those two. Like, it reminds me of that. What's the Zendaya, John David Washington piece when they were in the house?
I don't remember the name of it, but I know
Okay.
exactly what you're talking about.
What is it? Malcolm and Marie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yes,
it's
yeah.
that kind of vibe. So um there's definitely a comp for it, and when you go in places, you say like, yo, this is Malcolm and Marie, but the difference is we're talking about this instead of, the film industry or whatever. We're dealing with this. Um and the interesting thing is, what we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever I specifically talked to you, remains here. You know what I mean? It just needs to, the writing cannot be clouded by the writing.
Yeah.
It's um there's two things mainly. Is one, the f- the formatting, um um the showing, not telling. There's a good amount of them saying everything when a look will do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever been in the car and you looked over and she's like, and you're like, and you go over and you're kind of thinking, I wonder what that look was about. But it's probably, she's probably thinking about what happened when we were at this event. And you might even ask her, but you might not. But if you, and there's a lot of history you have already, so there are things that you may not reference, but there's a lot of room for that here.
Yeah. Yeah.
The tension of them being upstairs and their significant others downstairs is powerful. Use that more. Maybe they almost get caught more. Maybe uh, uh, push it closer to the edge, because that's a huge opportunity you have there. Um, Also, it's a bit long for a short.
Yeah, I know. I gotta cut it.
30-page short is a bit long. So you almost want to say, like, is this a feature? Is this but I don't think it is. Not in its form.
Yeah, I think that's where I got caught when people have read it that are interested and say, "Well, what is it?" And I'm like, "Well, I would like for it to be a short, but I also know that there's room for to telling more of the story."
You
So
can't
I've been
you
after.
can't tell somebody what you would like for it to be.
Okay,
You have to tell somebody what it is.
it is. Yeah.
There's going to be enough questions going around about your piece from everyone that lays eyes on it, everyone you are interested in being a part of it, whether it's the financing, the talent, etc. There's going to be a lot of questions around your piece, but you cannot have them.
Okay.
You got to say, no, this is a short, but I have a sense that once you begin to go through, so we talked a bit about the vomit draft in a few of the other sessions, but we
Yeah.
haven't talked as much about the surgery draft. So, for example, I heard back from my team last week, 2 weeks ago, last week, about a screenplay that I wrote, uh, and uh, and I got some really good feedback. And I'm going to go into the surgery draft. This is
Yeah.
not a structural rewrite from page one. This is a draft where I go through and I cut out anything that doesn't need to be said. And I look at a conversation and wonder if they really needed to say that. And there's right now in your draft, they're saying everything. and then like doubling down, and then at the end with the monologue, it's like that monologue could be 2 minutes, you know, or two
Yeah.
sentences. I mean, not 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It could be two sentences. So honestly, it's just really, and then by the time you do all that, by the time you do the surgery, by the time you cut it down, it's probably gonna land somewhere at 2/3 of what it is now anyway, you know, and then you're more in the range of what a short needs to be. Because once you shoot that, then in the edit, I'm sure there's going to be more cut, especially if you have really good actors who can convey words through their looks and convey dialogue through what they're doing in the room, for how they pass each other, for the way they hand something to each other and hold on for slightly too long. You know, there's a lot of ways that can be conveyed than dialogue, you know,
Yes.
and that's gonna be the thing for you. Get those books like now, bro.
Yeah.
How to Make Good Script Great and the Hollywood Standard, and then start going through that thing and seeing what you can cut, because it's there, and it can be compelling. This story, this topic, you know, we haven't had really that since, you know, Spike did it a while ago, you know, and so that's where we at, bro.
Cool. Thank you so much for taking the time to read it. And yeah, that definitely is helpful. I think we talked about it last time we spoke, just saying how I need those books in order to kind of figure out what like the basics are. In a
Yeah,
sense.
otherwise you'll just be spinning. You'll be spinning
Yeah.
for years, man. You know,
Yeah,
you'll
that's
be
how I
spinning.
feel like my writing has been. I've been spinning and
You'll be
stuff.
spinning, and then you'll send stuff out, and people will just kind of like label you as, this is what he is. He
Yeah.
ain't really a good, right? You know, like you don't want that to happen before you start getting stuff out. Let it stay in this incubation period a bit more.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool, absolutely. Um, cool. Let me see. Let's go to Danae.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about the background noise. I am at a karate tournament, so you're going to see kids
Oh, word.
walking past. Yeah.
Can we see the karate? Can you turn it around for a second? Oh, it's other people's kids. Wait, you can't do that.
Yeah, I'm away from the tournament. My husband actually, I didn't
Yeah.
compete this Saturday. My husband actually competed
Oh,
not too
wow.
long ago.
Nice. How do you do?
He did well, second place in one of the two divisions that he participated in. We're just
Nice.
getting ready for world competition in Austria, so he's using this as
In
a
Austria?
training ground. Yes.
Wow. Are you shooting any of this?
Just the videos that we take.
Okay, but it's more of material that you're going to use for your Urban Bushido.
Yeah.
Okay.
They show he was part of the WKC last year, and they show those live on YouTube. The United States was hosting last year. We were in Buffalo, so that was pretty cool.
Okay,
About
nice.
4,000 competitors.
Wow. Okay, cool. So I saw your short piece. It's it's so I like it, and there's a but here.
Mhm.
If you're going to use AI, so there's a lot of different feelings around AI right now in the business, and if you're going out with your thing initially, I don't know that that's what you want to put at the fore. You know what I mean? It's almost like you'd almost rather pull clips from another movie than use the AI right now in the way you're using it to be the whole piece. You know what I mean? Because it's noticeable,
Mhm.
right? And in a space where the opinions around it, some companies and people are completely against it. You know, you don't want that to be a barrier for you to get this incredible world out there, because this world is not out there in any significant way. You know, we've seen scenes. I remember that scene on This Is Us, where the dojo and uh, the black, what, do you know which one I'm talking about? With the,
Faintly.
okay. And then I've seen some clips go viral of some black dojos where there were, you know, inspiring the young boys and to be confident, to be strong, etc. It's almost like you want to pull from that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You want to pull from, maybe get the new Karate Kid with Will's kid in it, pull some scenes from that, him and with him and Mr. Miyagi, um, then to have AI that's not necessarily, because it wasn't just that it was AI. It's that they also, also feel like some of them were sort of going off the rails a bit. Like they weren't like hitting in the right place. They weren't really looking at the right person, and it becomes a bit distracting for the person that's watching it, and that you are, um, and that you're sending it to. You know, so what you have to your advantage is that you're exploring and putting out there a world that's so underutilized from the perspective of Black people, that is so potent, that has so much interest and drama, and you know, like, uh so lean into those aspects of it. Even what you just told me there, like, yeah, it was streamed on YouTube. My husband, it was 4,000 people. Like, you know, these are the kind of things that will be like, oh, really? You know, there's that kind of interest in this, and then here comes a story from people who lived it, who are living it, that's compelling, that's interesting, uh and go from there. And if there's a small piece that you put in there that is AI that's not as noticeable, fine, you know, but like, don't make it your the thing that you're putting out front, is what I would say.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. It's pull go find movies and pull clips from them. You can do that. You cannot put that out on YouTube or nothing. But you don't need to. You're whoever needs to watch it, you can send it to them through um through email, and just put it up on your own private Vimeo page, or put it up on a Google Drive. You know, people could watch stuff from Google Drives, and it won't get taken down like it would on YouTube or something. Because you try to put a Jaden Smith clip up on YouTube, they're gonna take it. They're gonna take it from you instantly. But yeah, so start there.
All right. Thank you.
Cool, of course. Um, where are we at? Come on up, bro. Are you just, well, he over there looking at testing my strength. I'm like, bro, I have no problem picking this thing. It's a what? Oh, that's what you used.
Yeah.
I thought you just had your flat hand on the side.
I mean, it was strength too. Like,
He said it was strength too.
It was strength too, huh? Sad, brother.
taking it easy. New location.
Yeah, we're doing the office hours today.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
Hello, everyone. Let me see. Okay. All right. All right. So last week we talked about the barbershop piece. Have you made progress on that at all? Or
I've been still trying to figure out when I can shoot it. I've been
Mhm.
talking to a few of the barbers that I'm
Right.
interested in and get my crew to shoot it.
Nice. So you've actually talked to the barbers. You are potentially scheduling shoots. Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah.
Big. In terms of the show,
hmm
where are you with that?
I haven't. I've watched 6 Feet Under,
Okay.
and yeah, I see some similarities. I'm like, wow, but it's just different, and
Yeah.
you know, our audience is different.
Yeah.
My audience, or my cast is a black cast and I'm
Mhm.
a white cast, but it's similarities, and I'm like, wow, this is the world I I'm onto something, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big world. It's a big world. And uh where are you with the pilot?
I haven't started writing that yet. I just have the character Bible I created,
right.
and I also have the pitch deck.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to get the writing started, but I just like figuring out how I want to start it because I'm new
What do you
to.
mean how you want to start it?
I know I want to start it with the pastor's funeral. I want to
Okay.
start with his funeral and then go into there, but just actually physically writing it is new. So
So do you want to write, or do you want to find someone else to write it?
I want to write it.
Okay.
I want to figure it out, but I don't mind having help or figuring it
Yeah.
out or guidance.
Like a writing partner or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this world you created is really solid. Like your deck is really solid. It's it looks really well done. It looks like something you would see anywhere, you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that kudos to you on putting that together and really creating the vision that we understand, and in a world that I could, like, I've seen shows out there that this could fit in a very specific lane of those. And if you mix the drama of what's the one that you had on there? It's on B, I think it was on BET or something.
You talking about in the pitch deck? You talking about the church show?
Yes.
Why am I drawing a blank right now?
So do you, would you consider this a faith-based piece?
I don't want it to be totally faith based, but I want faith to be a character into the show, if that makes sense, or
Mm,
part of the world. I want it to be. I don't want it to be too churchy to where
right.
other
Where you
audience.
exclude an
Yeah,
audience.
yeah, but I do want.
So you're trying to toe that
Yeah,
that line.
that layer line. What do you think?
Because there is you do have to figure out, whenever y'all making stuff, you got to figure out if you're going down that road, are you making a faith-based piece, or is it an element of the piece
Yeah,
that happens to be their faith? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Those are very specific lanes, and I think it's apt for anyone who's even touching that to like really consider what you want this to be. And what you're saying is you want to be the latter.
yes.
Okay.
But I also do want the gospel music in it as well
Yeah,
too.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine if it's, yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's obviously I've dealt with that throughout my pieces. Um I don't know that there's not so many people making stories about Black Muslim people, for example.
hmm
I've made a couple, and so I always have to play that balance of like, all right, the guy is Muslim, but this is not a story just for Muslim people. You know what I mean? Like it has to reach beyond that. Like, and it could be very specific, you know. And To Live and Die and Live, you know, Eamon Joseph wonderfully played a guy named Muhammad who comes home, and when his stepfather passes, and we saw what the process is when a Muslim person dies, and you go in, and but it wasn't a movie just for Muslim people. It was to be accurate, is to show a world that people don't normally see. You know what I mean? And so in this way, you gotta figure that out. But it seems like you want it to be more broad,
Yeah.
but like about this specific thing.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. And you want to write it for sure, but possibly like have a writing partner.
Yes.
Okay.
What's your opinion on that?
Well, have you written anything yet?
No.
Or would this be your first thing, right?
This would be my
Right.
first full thing, right?
Okay, so if that's the case, then you you just need to expect to have a longer period before you make the thing, you know? Because generally, so in general, the first draft isn't going to be the draft,
Right.
and that's for any writer. But especially for a new writer, you're still on the learning curve. You know what I mean? So like you have to incorporate that into the period by which you believe you want to get this made.
Okay.
And so you have to consider that, like, all right, if I want to write this, then I have to also consider like I need some time to really learn screenwriting. Um, Now, on the other side of that, like if I want someone to write it for me, I got to figure out how to pay them,
Right.
which is the thing too. Somewhere between that is finding someone who wants to be a part of this, and that would require some kind of partnership.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of situations where people will come in and write something on spec. They'll write something um, for a lower rate than what they would normally charge. But just understand that when they write it on spec, or spec means writing it without being paid upfront. So that's writing something on spec. So if that's the case, you have to understand that they are going to be a part of your core team, and they're going to be a part of. It's a partnership.
Okay.
So obviously the whole thing is yours because you're the one who created it. You're the one who did. You'll be a producer on it. Whatever roles you play, but you're the original creator of it. You came up with it, um, and you'd have to figure out where in that pie the writer fits, and they would be some of that pie, which
Okay.
is not a bad thing.
Okay.
You know, I think we sometimes we go into this thing, we're like, oh no, this is mine. I created it. This is, ain't nobody gonna. You can't think like that in the movie business. Like there are going to be a lot of times where you need to compromise, and you need to say, all right, I'm giving X amount of points to this actor. I'm giving this amount of points to this actor because sometimes that's all you have.
Right.
If you don't have the budget to like pay a writer or whatever.
Okay.
So I think you got to figure that out, right? Like if this is your long-term bigger play while you work on your barbershop documentary, um, fine. And over time you're going to be working on your skills. You're going to get that book and the Linda Seeger book and do what you have to do. Maybe enroll in class somewhere. That's an option.
I'm open to it. Yes.
But just know that it's a longer play. If you specifically are saying like, no, I got to write this. I got to be a part of the writing this. Because there's that learning curve. And then there's the other path of saying like, oh no, I want to get this made in next year or two. I got to get a writer on that can help me do that. And this is one of the things for sure too, is like I had to learn this the hard way of like doing way too much myself. It's nothing wrong with like bringing people in, having people help you. Because
Okay.
I spent a lot of years just doing a lot of stuff on my own. When, even sometimes when I had people on the team that could have done it for me or with me, I just was in this mindset of like, oh, I'm this independent, like grind, hustle
Mhm.
filmmaker, like there is a place for that, the starving artist struggling kind of artist phase. But I think mine lasted longer than probably anybody in the business ever. My kind of um uh I got to do everything myself phase,
Yeah.
and some of that was me too, and having to break out of that.
Yeah. So
So,
it's no like super ego in me, like, oh, I have to do this. My
right.
my only thing is I just want to protect it. And I just want to make
Yeah.
sure I contain my ownership
Yeah.
with the project. So
Yeah.
I'm open.
Yeah. So you can register your deck.
Okay. It's
Um,
registered. Yeah.
okay, cool. And you i- any writer that's worth their salt, any writer that's doing this for real, is going to respect those boundaries of like, this is your story that you created. And when it comes to uh putting it out, the story you have is going to, the credits will go like this. It will say story by you, written by the writer, but if you write it too, then it would be both of y'all.
Okay.
So if you ever notice these credits that come on is like story by this person, written by that person and another, right? And so it's not going to diminish you at all
Okay.
to say like created by, story by you, and then having that writer on there. So I think that's what you got to figure out next is like, if you got to really sit and think about this, like, am I more interested in like really becoming the writer, which you can be, um, while bringing somebody else on, and maybe you learn from them, or you continue down the road of just saying like, all right, I'm gonna spend the time to become a writer, perfect the craft, well, you ain't got to perfect it right now, but just get to the point where you're able to write a thing effectively.
Okay.
Or I'm gonna continue down the road of doing this doc while also developing this. I'm gonna bring a writer on so they could be working on this while I'm working on this doc.
Okay.
So figure out which one of those it's gonna be.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah,
Cool.
I'll work on that.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you,
Bet.
sir.
Yeah. All right. I keep having to move this thing. Jamie Lincoln Smith.
Yeah, right here. Peace, my brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. What's good, bro? How you doing?
All is good, man. All is well.
Rodney getting a little workout over here,
Thanks
y'all.
for, re-
Just,
thanks for checking the piece out, man. I appreciate it.
yeah, man. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff on you for getting it out and doing your thing. And those guys, Rock Omari, and some good folks you got in there.
Yeah. Those are my people, man. Tribe, so to speak. My tribe.
Yeah. They've been at it and they've been doing their thing. I know Rock, he was on P Valley or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit. I need to understand where you are with these pieces right now.
All right, so right now, basically, like it needs to have music added to it, needs to be color corrected and things of that nature, right? I shot it maybe I think at 23, I believe it was.
Mhm.
So I shot it a couple years back. Right now, I'm also thinking because it's in my original plan for it was web series form, right?
Yeah.
So since then, I've taken the script, which is what you've seen. I've taken the script to that and made it a 1 episode pilot.
Okay.
But as
So you
things have been
just
moving,
combine those 3 episodes.
yeah,
Yeah. Got it.
yeah. But as things have been moving, I've also been thinking like, because I feel like I can do so much with the character because the character is me, right?
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about somehow creating a vertical form of it now.
Right,
And
yeah,
just putting
yeah.
it on TikTok so I can just keep going. So I can keep doing it and I
Yeah.
can be more have more episodes instead of having and spend less money, I feel like
Right.
shorter, like cutting them down to like 3 minutes, putting them as like a short 3 minute vertical on TikTok.
Right,
to
yeah,
keep
yeah.
the story going.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out should I chop what I have up and create that, start with that as some 3 minute thing, or drop that as a web series and then extend it into vertical.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
okay, cool. Right, because we talked about that last time. So what I gotta so a few questions first. Why haven't you colored it? And why is there music on it?
Money and uh worry, not
How much
worry,
money? How
doubt.
much money you need?
Doubt.
How much money you need to
Doubt.
color? How much money you need to color something? Do you know anybody that knows DaVinci? Do you know DaVinci? Can you pull that into Premiere Pro and drop a LUT on it, a few LUTs on it?
I'm not sure how to do that, but I'm sure I could look it up.
Who's your editor?
Brother named Adrian Sinclair edited for me.
Okay. And could you ask Adrian if you were to throw him a little something extra, if he could put a light color on it,
Yeah.
Could you go to musicbed.com and find some music?
I'm sure I could. Yeah.
What's the other one? Artlist.io.
What did you say was music bed?
Musicbed.com, artlist.io, artlist.io. You can go to these places and you can find music that you can use.
That's all free music.
No, not music.
Oh,
Neither one of them are free, but Artlist is a monthly subscription, and you have the rights to use anything.
DaVinci has a free library you can download.
Oh yeah, DaVinci has a free library. I know Premiere. I think Premiere connected with Artlist, didn't they? Maybe. The point is, bro, you gotta get them things done. Like they've been sitting around. You're a compelling character, man. You know, it's like you're a compelling character that had that made something that could be available for the world to see, and it's sitting there. Now for the piece itself, I have a few notes if you're open.
Yeah.
Okay, I always got to ask.
Oh, for sure.
Do you know why we should care about him?
Because I feel like his story is universal. If we take it outside of acting for per se, his career, I feel like there's somebody of that character type in every career.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And what we want to do, and one thing that Save the Cat talk does well is like, there's a moment in a story where a guy can be completely, this whole note about like, oh, he's not likable enough, like, whatever. Some of the greatest characters in the history of film and TV have not been very likable. It's like fine. Um, but there has to be something that's a bit redeemable about them. There has to be something that we can hold on to that says, like, okay, like I could go on this ride with him. Like is his if there was a world where he was doing all this um and he at the end of the episode kind of like cracks open a door and his mother's in there dying or something.
Mm.
If it and then she's an asshole too, and she's like, close the fucking door, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like then you're like, fuck you, mom. And that exchange in itself, you're like, oh shit. Like you see him do all this, and then he's like, and then you see at the end of the episode, you get it all. Like why he's bitter, why he's trying so hard at his craft, why he struggles in these interviews, and also you see why he's kind of an asshole because his mom is. And it's that contrast. I just thought of that just now, by the way. Like I didn't really, but I was like, but that contrast of like, yeah, she's dying, but she's still an asshole. Like and he's going to literally check on her. She's like, close the fucking door. I'm watching my stories or something she's doing in that room where you're like, and he's like, well, fuck you too, or whatever. And then he closes the door and his eyes tear up or something. And then he pulls it back together and he keeps it moving. It's something, it don't gotta be that, but just like that, like do you know what that would do for that?
Define him, so to speak.
Something to define him and something to make him a bit more redeemable because right now he's not.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now he's not. And I think that would that would do so much, and it doesn't take much to put somebody in the bed and shoot, one angle and one the other way. If that's the thing, but just something like that, like that would give it that thing and give him a reason for moving through the world like this. I remember this guy that's grown up. He used to be, I mean, he was just the worst bully I had ever. So I lived two lives. Um, I lived as a too skinny kid whose head was too big for his body, who like got pushed around, who had three beautiful sisters who I always had to fight for. It just was horrible existence. Like, oh my God, this was brutal, man. I mean, it was brutal, like trying to live that. Um, uh, and then one summer, I had a growth spurt. My boy Michael Porter was like, "Yo, you should start playing football. You should try out for the football team." And I was the worst kid on the team. I had no fundamentals or whatever. I had a little athleticism, but I didn't have the fundamentals. Um, and then the next year, I went to high school, and I was like, I got better, a lot better. And then I started working out. And then the next year, I was one of the best on the team, and then I was moved up to varsity. And so then, And it just so happened that it was around the time where all the dark skinned dude movies started coming out. Like, you know, Tay Diggs came out and Morris Chestnut and all these people and like and then like and I mean everything changed. Everything changed. But I say all this to say, like, when I was in that like bullied skinny kid period, like acne, whatever, I never forgot what that felt like, you know. And I never forgot like being on the basketball court, and it was this kid. He was just the meanest person you would ever know. I mean, he'll take your bike, he'll take your snack, he'll take, you know, you see him and then you just go the other way. Um, and then there was a basketball court in the front and in the back. One time I went to the basketball court in the back of the complex, whatever, and then I saw his big cousin. And his big cousin was worse than him. And his whole posture, he was like this around his big cousin. He was like this. He couldn't even look him in the eyes. You know what I mean? And his big cousin was just kicking him around. He was taking, and I'm like, that's why he's like that. It took me one day to completely understand this person now. For years, he was like just this monster. Like I go to the bus stop, I'm like, I'm waiting over here. I don't even want to be near. But then I saw why, and it changed everything. I mean, I still didn't like him, you know, but like I understood, and that's what I'm talking about here. Is like, what is that thing that he has that makes him like that in the world? And then the last thing I'll say about it is the pace of it. Seems like it moves a little slow for what you're trying to create. For what you're creating, like it feels like the cuts are a little slower. You know, you got to move through that thing. You know, you got to move through that thing.
I do.
It's a bit too much of a loungy, like kind of, you know, if you're trying to do this punchy, funny kind of thing, you gotta move through it.
Okay.
And with that, go find out how you can color this thing and put some music on it, bro. And that's what you gotta do.
All right, I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Is Hayward back?
Hey Q, how you doing?
What's up, man? What you
Yeah,
doing
I
on
was
Zoom,
good.
bro? Ain't you in the city? What you doing?
I'm actually at work up toward
Oh, okay.
Oakland
Okay.
County, so I apologize. If it's possible, if I could still,
Ah,
are you okay with me not being on camera? I just can't be on camera.
no, it's fine, man. Anybody's trying to get you fired, bro.
Right.
He's like Sovereign Cinema Sessions
Right.
gets fired. It gets me fired from my job. So how you doing? So for everyone, you know, Hayward's doing a bunch of projects. He was in LA. We were both. I met him originally. I met you originally. No, I met you here, but then really we got to kind of connecting when we were both in LA. So we have a few like returns. My man returned from LA is Hayward. Now we're talking about which one? The
Uncle Jamie.
Uncle Jamie, the
Yeah.
pilot and the deck for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay. You have a compelling story. Um, I love these characters. I totally get them.
Mhm.
Do Hayward, don't send that deck to nobody else, bro.
Okay.
I'm for real.
Yeah.
Like
It needs some work. It needs yeah. It's very rough.
you're an artist, man. You're an artist. You're not a professor. You're not a, you know, you're an artist. You were out in LA. You really, you're going for this for real. And your deck needs to reflect that, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, it's the way that the layout, you know, it's what are you doing in Word?
Well, yeah. Basically, it's getting revised right now, like, through Canva, and
Mhm.
really I'm passing it and kind of working with someone who she does illustration. She's kind of from that world.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of already in the works. But yeah, I mean, I did just kind of throw it together because that's kind of
Why did you just kind of throw it together?
well, I won't mean throw it together, but I guess like a lot of it from this series really just came. A lot of it just kind of came from me and I wrote a lot of almost like the show Bible, the treatment,
Mhm.
all that came to me before I even wrote the entire pilot. So it was a lot of written notes
Right.
type things from it that I ended up pulling out into this pitch deck. But yeah,
Okay,
it
so
definitely
so
wasn't
this
like
is
that
so
before.
that's your document. You know what I'm saying? That is your document. No one else's. That is for you. If somebody asks for that, say it's not done yet. You don't give nobody your internal document. And unless you have a working relationship with them where you trust each other enough to share that kind of stuff. There's producers I work with who will have a brain dump, is what they call it, and they'll send me the brain dump. You know, the brain dump is just like, all right, this is all I'm thinking, you know. And I'll go through and I'll synthesize and I'll try to see like, all right, this is where your mind is. Like, but in order to really get this thing out there and to get it in front of people that won't just, you know, look past it or throw it out, um, you that cannot be something that represents you. For the quality of ideas that I see that you have, for the hunger that I know that you have, for the variety of original content that you have, which is great. You know, it's like a lot of people have. You know, everybody has a story in them. Some people have two, but you have a lot, bro.
Yeah.
You have a lot of stories in you. You know, and you're putting them out. But like, um, who is this? So the one who's working on it now is working in Illustrator. You said
Well, no, she's like a working illustrator.
she's an illustrator,
She's working on two children's books. You know, she's built like a clientele.
right?
But we go back. We go back to school. You know, we went to school together some
Okay.
years back. We
And
reconnected.
where are you and her with that?
Right now, I did send her pretty much the content, the captions, and basically everything written that you saw.
Mhm.
And once again, for context, it's like, you know, for those of you guys not familiar, it's an animated sitcom set in the mid '90s based on my late uncle and
Right.
his dream of becoming a pro wrestler.
Right.
It's basically it's basically Hey Arnold meets Robin Harrison's Baby's Kids.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
where
So
we're at, right? Yeah.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So basically where we're at, she's doing the first pass, taking all the content, taking the Baby's Kids, the Hey Arnold, the other references, like the screenshots, and create our own unique character animation in addition to taking the content for a first draft pitch deck for Kim.
Okay, got it.
That.
Got it. So she's working on it and you're working
Yeah,
on it. That's all you need to do, bro. You need to refine that and you need to go back at the script. And like I said last time, you need to understand what kind of story you're telling. It cannot be the Boondocks and a Disney show. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be the Boondocks and drop F-bombs and say dirty jokes about, you know, ass and all this, you got to go over there and be that.
Yeah. This is not
Well, you do have some dialogue in there that's pretty, right?
Well, yeah, I could go back. I need to go back through and just confirm and refine the tone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so yeah, that's what you got to do, bro. Go and like figure out that tone. Whether it's you got to watch some stuff, whatever, and really decide. Maybe spend some time with Bebe's Kids, spend some time with Boondocks, spend some time with, you know, Family Guy, whatever you want to look at, and just kind of like see like where does this belong, and then figure that out, and get back in there and work on that tone, and get back in there and work in that deck with your
All right.
partner, because that's not yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. As far as next action step, do you want me to turn in the next pitch deck draft?
Yes. And that so now I'm looking at this as, now that you've described this, I'm looking at this as, okay, this is your this is not the one you're sending out to anybody. This is your safe space where you can send it to me. I'll give you some notes on it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I thought that was the one you were sending out.
No, that was like only sharing it with like people in close circles, not sending it out.
Okay, good.
I'm not sending out.
Okay, now I understand. Now I understand. This is not the one you're sending out, and that's good to know.
Okay.
That's good to know. So yeah, let's refine. Let's keep working with her on that deck. Give benchmarks. All right, this by this date we want this to happen. By this date we want this to happen. Um, so that y'all have a schedule. So it's not just a never ending work on the pitch deck. Because it seems like she's kind of doing this in between stuff, right? It's because you.
Well, yeah, no, we finally connected last week, and then we basically have another session coming up. So I could have something to show you next week.
Perfect. Great.
So where it's at.
Great. All right. Good to see you, bro. Appreciate you. Robert?
Yo, here.
Powerful stuff, man.
Yeah.
They got to make that show.
I'm open to both. Show more show.
They got to make that. They got to make that film.
Thanks.
Yeah. So
I also had a show idea where we actually see the ancestors of this kid.
yeah, I was looking for
Like an
them.
anthology.
I was looking for them through those chants. And what is that based in? So for those who don't know, Robert made a short. You explain it. You explain it.
It's a proof of concept for initially a feature film, but I have actually been thinking about a series. But it's about a young man who discovers that he is the latest in a long line of mythical flying Africans. So I don't know if you've ever heard of The People Could Fly or Song of Solomon, but they feature that myth. It's a very distinct Southern myth. Also, as there are also versions of it in the Caribbean and other places throughout the world. But essentially, the very nuts and bolts of it is, there's a story that essentially slaves working on a plantation got tired one day, and a group of them actually knew this ancient magic from Africa. They chanted it, and they flew away to freedom. Some versions have them becoming birds. Some versions have them just sprouting wings and flying. And so my version, I sort of interpolated as, it's just sort of he sort of kind of just lifts off.
Right.
But it's a family secret. It's really sort of a story about family secrets, essentially.
Right.
And so he discovers this, and him discovering it actually leads to even more trouble. And so in the proof of concept, we just see him sort of the thing that sort of kicks off the story, which is his brother is actually in trouble. The bad guys are pursuing him, and he chants this magic that his grandmother has passed down.
Okay. Great. And it had some traction, and it's sort of you're repackaging it to get it back out.
Yeah, repackaging it, doing kind of finishing up my vomit draft, finishing up, a new deck behind it. I initially sort of conceived of it as a short story,
Yeah.
A short film, and didn't have the money to do the whole short film, but I did have enough to do sort of proof of concept, and so did that. And so now doing the vomit draft of the feature, but yeah, I've definitely been talking about making it either sort of an anthology type thing for TV,
Yeah.
or something else. So
Yeah,
I think it has legs, and it could be its own universe and that sort of thing.
Yeah, this is the kind of story we need to see.
Thank you.
This is the and who do you have that out to right now, or anyone?
Yeah, so and that same proof of concept I put on Instagram, it got like a lot of traction. People were really attracted to it, but no real legs. There was one producer who did reach out to me, who was looking for a script and that sort of thing. And for long story short, life happened, and so I'm just now kind of getting back to sort of putting it out there. But everybody was looking for a script, and at the time I didn't have the script.
Right. So so you just got to keep going on the script.
Yeah,
You got it. That's all you got.
100.
Because
Go ahead.
no, go. You're about to
Well, I was
finish.
gonna say we did like do some very light pitching initially, sort of even before the proof of concept was done, based off of the deck and some ideas. And what was told to me, and this is one thing I wanted to kind of pass or ask you about, was one person said, "Oh, Hollywood's not looking for anything that's not already established IP," so they were like, make it a graphic novel first, and then adapt that, and then and then write the script, or But I've gotten that like a few times, and so I was curious about that approach as well. I'm still going to do the script regardless, but
yeah, I've been told a couple of times that like let it find sort of a community or fan base first as something else, a short story, a graphic novel, something else, and then adapt that, you know, and make it
Right,
uh,
right,
a
right.
film.
Hold on one second. I think somebody's downstairs.
Oh, good.
Hold on. Okay. So, first of all, the idea. So everything someone tells you in the business is their opinion.
Yes. True.
You know,
Yeah, true.
and there are things that are so studios and streamers, they all have these mandates, and the mandates change constantly. So they'll go into so my agency would be like, all right, we just met with Netflix, you know, we just sat down with this one or Max, HBO Max, whoever, and here is their mandate for, you know, the next what however long. And those mandates change constantly.
Right.
And maybe that represents like 40% of the business, 50%, I don't know.
Yeah.
The mandates and like the IP driven stuff and the this and that. Sure. I mean, sure. Um, but you got to take those opinions what what they are as their opinions. You know,
Yeah.
their opinions, and they're not. They don't determine who's going to pick up what. They don't determine um exactly what your thing is, where your thing is going to fit. So,
Yeah.
is there value to having a popular graphic novel? Yes, there's value to it. Is there value to you know, to leaning into IP? Sure, there's value to that. Um, uh, but there's also in your case, your value is going to come with providing a powerful script with what you already have, which is extremely powerful.
Okay.
That's going to be your value right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that doesn't, you know, if you want to go off and do a graphic novel, you know, fine. But that game is not that easy. You know, you go to these conventions and you think for every one that has popped off and that's popular and you're like, oh, that's cool, graphic novel. You go to one of them conventions and see how many people have tables set up and booths set up and see the 1,000 different ones and see just how much they're fighting to get theirs out there and they can't sell 10 books. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
so that in itself is going to be a journey, you know. And if that's something that you're interested in, fine. But like, but don't let it be just because someone said, or a few people may have said, like, oh, they're leading into IP. It's gonna be you making the best version of that script and accompanying it with that short, which is already terrific, which not many people
Yeah.
can say that.
Okay.
The
Thank you. No,
the
that's
the
very
lore
kind.
the lore that you have behind it, the history combined with this, you know, sci-fi element that's current. Um, it's got some legs to it.
Thank you. Thank you. No, that's encouraging to hear. Like I said, especially again, I know your track record, so that's, that's encouraging. And yeah, I kind of had that instinct. Just kind of keep the first thing first,
Yeah.
and just go on and hang out the script. And it's, you know, the time I've taken with it, it's gotten better, but I do need to just kind of release it.
So
And,
where are you with your script now? What page?
Cash. Pull it up.
Have you finished and doing a rewrite, or are you not
I
finished?
did a really thorough treatment, and
Okay.
yeah, on
Like a script, like a scriptment.
Yeah, not like a James Cameron script, man. I was saying like a proper treatment. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a proper treatment.
Yeah.
Again, I kind of started with a short film, so I'd already had like a good 30 so pages in.
Right, right.
I went back and reworked the beginning.
Okay.
The grandmother ends up, she was like a freedom fighter, and
Nice,
the whole
nice.
lore behind her.
Okay, great.
And so yeah, and I had to kind of just amp up the antagonist. So yeah, I found all of that through the treatment.
Mhm.
Went back, yeah. So now I'm about 30 pages into Ivana draft. Yeah.
Okay, great. 30 pages is powerful. By the next time you come back, have 40, bro. 10 pages, I might crank out 10 pages in a day sometimes, like when I'm doing a vomit, and you're in it, man. You're serious about it. You already shot something like, but mostly like take those opinions with the grant. I mean, they're valid, like I'm not a fan of this black and white kind of mentality where it's like, oh, none of that matters, or it's all this. You know what I mean? It's like looking at what you're hearing, the opinions that you're getting, what you're watching, what you're reading, understanding yourself, and then saying like, all right, how can I come at this? It's too many times where people will say, well, uh, Steven Spielberg made Jaws and he was doing this. I'm like, bro, you realize like Jaws, that's that was 50 years ago. Jaws was the first blockbuster of its kind. You know what I'm saying? Like Steven Spielberg, I think that was one of the first movies to do like ads on TV for a movie. It was the first movie, it was the first summer blockbuster. It was the first movie to open in all the theaters at once. All movies used to do rollouts. You know what I'm saying? All movies used to have rollouts where they would start in the city and they would do this and that. And then Steven Spielberg came along and he was like, yo, let's just open it everywhere. And they're like, what are you talking about? And let's put advertisements on these little boxes that people have in their homes now. And so, it's like it's like just, figure out specifically what works for you. And people reference folks all the time, but there's so many other things that went into what they were doing that are different than what's happening now, and particularly with how much the business is changing so rapidly. You have
That was old advice even when they were giving it.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta think about like if I'm cruising Netflix and this thing showed up, what I want to see. I'm like, oh yeah, I would totally. There's a space for it, And I saw they did one before with the kid, who had the magic power. I know you watched that one probably.
I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah,
can't remember
yeah,
the name.
yeah. So you have a reference point. You can say like, yo, this movie did find out, or that show did find out the numbers it did. Raising Dion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know there was so much excitement in the Black community around it. I know, with the popularity of Sinners dealing with the lore and the history, like that's, bro, you got it, man. So just keep writing 10 more pages. And I gotta go to the bathroom, but we only have time for like one or two more. So you come up and then but I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Meanwhile, can you like shoot them two? So I'll be right back, y'all. Can you just kind of shoot the room a bit? Because I feel like all we've gotten is these chairs. Y'all act like y'all. Nah, there you go, right? And action. Yeah, just street.
Coffee shop. I know they got a triple espresso. I need to wake up. Triple espresso. It's back to what I left over here because I was.
They got kombucha. So kombucha. Really? It's on tap. It's a nice building for here. Yeah, coffee. There's water.
Most of those stuff
It's tea, coffee, or water. Tea.
speak
Hot water, English. Can already. Yeah.
That's a shot lay that all day long.
Water. It's good.
We can't find it.
It's kind of wet.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Whoever's here, welcome to Cinema Sessions. We out here in Detroit. And those who can hear me, this is super meta. We got like live here, the Zoom there, in person. Technology, man. Yeah, grab the mic. So last time you were here, you were saying that you've written more pages of a script that you're working on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And where are you?
I am I'm coasting into my second act now. Just really, going by my outline and just trying to, figure out where to place these characters and exactly what I want to say in these scenes, in particular about these characters in the story as it unfolds. But I think I'm rolling good.
Can I see a page?
Yeah. So I got some up for you.
All right.
So like I was saying, this is basically it's a romantic comedy. It's about two people who have a disaster date and they end up in a wedding together, but don't realize that they're going to end up on the same plane. But when they end up in the same room, they get into it real bad and end up having to take a multi-city ride together to get there. And they have to stick together in order to get to where they're going on time. So it's kind of going through it in that sense.
And you're on 20, you were in 28 pages.
Yeah.
How many since last week?
Since last week, last time I was here, I was at 14.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
Nice. Doubled the page count. Nice.
Yeah. So now I'm just gonna keep on rolling. Like I said, similar to my man, in about an hour a day, I try to get in at least.
Yeah.
Same struggles, whatever, with the kids running, running around like Tasmanian devils. So I'd be having to make my time. Usually do it in the evening, but yeah, I try to at least do better than the first time every time I sit down.
Yeah.
So I try to get out as many as I can in a day or a week or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you need now?
Right now, for this, I don't think I need anything. I think I'm
I don't either.
Yeah. So I don't think I need anything. I think I'm moving on that. Just continue to write. Just keep on pumping it out. I need to try to figure out exactly where I want. Like I said, like each scene, of course, whatever has to say something. There has to be a point to it. Like why are we here? What are we learning? What are we finding out? And I'm in the funny games part.
Yeah.
So so we're just kind of hijinks, funny stuff happening, things like that. And then I've hit a couple of nerves so far.
Yeah.
But then I think I'm gonna get deeper. In the coming, especially going into second act, deeper into it, like halfway through it, going to the midpoint. So yeah.
Okay. You don't need none right now. Just finish that draft, bro.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go from there. Cause my man just finished film school at LA Film School.
Yeah.
Right. And is serious about this and is ready to get it cracking. He's already got a feature he's writing. He's and a few other ideas, but this is the one that where his heart is right now.
Yes.
And yeah, just keep at it, man. That's great, bro. This will be your accountability room,
Please keep me accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. We will.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, that's all I need.
All right, cool. Why don't you come up? Because I haven't talked to you yet. What's good, man?
What's going on, good brother?
Frank White. So you began acting 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, 2019, 2020.
Why'd you start acting?
It actually fell in my lap.
an associate of mine was or is what was she? She was an assistant director for the production of Narc. And
Narc?
yeah, Narc with BZ, Tristan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. So what happened was we was at a tavern and we was having conversation and she was saying about how she's an assistant director on this production and blah blah blah. And I made a joke. I said, if you ever need an Omarion lookalike, call me.
An Omarion lookalike?
Right. Everybody called me that. So a couple of days after that, just so happened she posted on Instagram that they was looking for extras.
Uh-huh.
So I hit her up and was like, what's up? She was like, you serious? You really want? I was like, but let's see what it's about. I want to try it.
Yeah.
And from there, I fell in love with it.
Okay. So what now? What are you trying to do now?
Now I'm furthering my career in acting. I'm growing. My motto is I want to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
It's not just at acting, but that's in life.
In life, period. That's a great motto.
So I'm furthering my education and talent and skills in acting, and I'm venturing now into the writing experience.
Okay.
So
and where are you in that experience?
Well, right now I have about five scripts.
You have 5 scripts?
Yeah, I've been writing. I'm all over the place.
In what form? Like 5 whole scripts, like partial each one?
I have 3 full, 1 short, and 1 partial that I'm trying to finish. And the one I'm trying to finish is actually my first one that I started.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. So you have 3 full screenplays written.
Yeah.
1 short, and 1 that you're trying to finish.
Yep.
And when did you begin writing?
Year and a half ago.
Wow. That's a lot in a year and a half.
Yeah.
All right. So you're writing a script out around every 3 months or so, 3 to 4 months.
Give or take. Yeah, about 2-3 months.
Where do you work?
Right now I'm at Wendy's.
Okay.
And I also do home improvement,
Nice.
drywall, electrical, plumbing, all that type of stuff.
Okay.
On
And
top of acting.
yeah, no, that's dope. That's dope. Do what you got to do, man.
Right.
And what are you doing here specifically? You want to figure out how to improve upon your writing.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's not just improving upon writing, but it's the industry overall as far as how I'm gaining that knowledge. Because when you giving your jewels about the writing experience, you also giving jewels about the industry as well.
Yeah.
What they look at, how they see things,
Yeah.
So with me, even though I'm like 4 or 5 years in, I look at myself as still fairly new. I'm still learning.
Yeah, you're new.
So-
You're new.
Any jewels knowledge that I can get, I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah. I think I would need to look at some stuff you've written to see where you are. You know what I mean? I can't read 5 scripts, of
Oh,
course.
no.
But just send me something.
Okay.
Send me something just so I can understand. I gotta understand where you are,
Well, so I can,
and also I gotta understand, like, what do you want to do most? Do you want to act? Do you want to write?
I want to do both
Okay.
because
And
you know how it is here in Detroit. It's pretty much one lane.
it is.
It the Detroit way. People
Okay.
see things in a certain way, in a certain perspective, and it's because of what they saw growing up here in the city. But at the same time, to me, it's just one lane or one direction where it's a lot of different stories or different things that we can show and prove instead of just, excuse me, the typical D-boy story.
Mm.
Everybody selling dope, everybody killing, baby mamas. It's a lot more to Detroit and our culture as well. So we have to get out there and explore. So for me, being light skinned in Detroit with long hair, I'm not perceived or looked at when it comes to a lot of roles. So for me, the writing is me giving myself the role
Yeah.
that I see myself in or I see myself doing that's not really looked at as far as a Detroit story or a Detroit movie or something like that. So I'm creating my own lane as well as furthering my acting.
Yeah. your motivation, um, forget about what anybody else is doing. It has its place, it has its value. People sometimes got to get their stories out,
Right.
and that's fine. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Oh yeah.
You just said something interesting about, you know, being light skinned in Detroit with long hair, trying to get roles. You just kind of described an archetype, a lane, a kind of a perspective that like seems like it has a lot behind it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like what is that? What is that story? You know? And what is so while you're talking about a reaction to whatever what other folks are doing, let your ethos and your inspiration not be a reaction to what other people are doing, but like motivated by what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. Got you.
And in this context, so in this way, are you training as an actor, or auditioning for stuff and seeing what happens?
Oh, I'm doing all of that.
Okay,
I took classes with Sheikh Mohammed Bey,
nice,
acting class, auditioning. I'm with Green Vision Syndicate
bro. You doing
Productions.
it?
So
You doing it?
you
So you're
gotta do
training
the
and
work.
you're getting better because you're the thing you said originally was that you're trying to get better every day,
Yeah.
and you are right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You got to do the work. If you don't do the work, then you're not doing nothing at all. But Denzel say, just because you moving don't mean you progressing or do
Yeah, that's
anything. You could be
facts.
running in place.
Yeah,
That's motion, but that don't mean
or you
you
could be going completely in the wrong direction.
that part too. So
You can be going in the wrong direction until it's like, yo,
yep.
but it seems like you're going in the right direction. And you just need more time. You just need to keep at it. Because that's reasonable to say, I want to write and I want to act. And, you know, you have time to do those things. Um, uh, I think for me, for example, I was, when I first started, I was acting, directing, writing, all that. And I had to really pull it back and be like, well, what do you really want to do, man? And I completely cut out the acting. Well, not completely. I mean, I played Danny Glover's son in my first film, you know, and I got beat up in my second film as I played as drug dealer, whatever. But I actually got killed. but
Oh, trust me, I
but
cut off in a
but so I've
movies.
done little bit of acting, but nah, in general, like I want to be a writer, I want to be a director. So it's reasonable to say I want to be a writer, actor. But keep at it and send me like 10 pages of something that you feel like is your best,
So
so I can.
what can I read this right quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
want you to hear it. So this is Ashes of Winter. Opening montage, wide shot, camera pans through wintry woods, forest while snowing. Audio in the background, sounds of an axe swinging and wood being chopped. Transition to a medium close-up. Camera pans to a wild mountain man chopping wood. He's wearing multiple animal furs. As he's finished chopping wood, he throws an axe into a tree, striking the tree trunk. Transition to an extra close-up. Axe in hands being released, twirling through the air, being thrown, sliding through the falling snow into a sucking tree trunk. To an extra close-up. The mountain man is gathering fresh firewood, bundles them on his sled. As he's dragging the sled through the snow, that's now a drone shot. Close up over the shoulder, the man's opened the door to his log cabin, enters, exposing of the inside of the cabin and fireplace as it's ablaze. He walks over and stacks some firewood in the corner of a cabin, then proceeds to the fireplace to throw a couple of logs to keep the fire going. Then he takes a seat in his big comfortable chair and he stares at the fire. Now we have an extreme close up as the camera pans around to his eyes as he gazes into the fire with a deep stare, going into a flashback. And then that's when we go into the
Nice,
flashback.
nice, powerful, bro.
That's my opener.
Nice. Yeah, I could see it too. That was you brought us there. What are you writing in?
Word. I transitioned it to Drive so I can bring it in, so I don't have to go through all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
laptop
yeah.
stuff.
Why
you know?
why aren't you using Final Draft or Fade? Fade in is a good one too, yo.
Fade in.
You know, you could use Celtics, Fade in, Final Draft.
Okay, I just got put up on Celtics, so I'm looking into that.
So yeah, but you know, Final Draft is kind of what everyone has. You start sending your script around, especially when you're working with people. You might want to have that, but even if you have like a Fade in or a Celtics, you can export to Final Draft.
Okay.
But it's important that you, because I'm looking, as soon as this opens, it's not the right font.
Right.
For
Okay.
example,
Okay.
it needs to be in Courier,
Mm.
Courier New, or like Courier. Final Draft has its own Courier font. And this is so you like how you're describing y- wide shot or audio. You don't have to put audio there. You know what I mean? You might want to what are the sounds you might want to make them capitalize, right?
Okay.
Um, camera pans through wintry woods, forest while snowing. Sounds of an axe swinging and wood being chopped. Um, so for example, right here it says, you have audio in the background, sounds of an axe swinging and wood being chopped. Medium close up. Camera pans to wild mountain man from behind chopping wood. So think about this. If it was like sounds of an axe swinging, wood being chopped, a mountain man from behind chopping it. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta, it's gotta flow. Yeah, yeah, it's gotta flow like in a way that just makes us move with it and not kind of stopping at every. Um, so a wild mountain man from behind chopping it. Um, it's while you have he's wearing multiple animal furs. So you would say it's fine if somebody's wearing something.
Right.
But if he's like, um, consider a way that those furs are on him. How else could they be on him, other than he's just wearing it? Multiple animal furs means something like that. He's like in there.
The layers to
It
keep
means more than just like he's wearing. He's doing more than wearing that.
survive.
Buried under multiple animal furs or something, draped inside of, draped in the blood of like draped in the wool of a bear. You know, something that like that's very specific.
Right.
What if he's draped in the wool of a bear? You know, like that's like, oh, you're so like with every line, consider that. With every sentence, say he's not just wearing something. If he's out chopping wood in animal fur, you know a lot about this guy. He's not just wearing something. What is it? And so again, get this book right here.
Yeah,
If y'all haven't seen it yet,
Oh no, it's like you said, it's in my Amazon list.
get this book so you'll understand. Like when we meet these people, like we met that guy, he needs to be capitalized. His name, for example, a wild mountain man or mountain man, until we find out what his name is. But right now, it should be
It goes
capitalized.
deeper.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. This is the first page or two, but
Yeah, yeah.
good stuff, man. You're on it, bro. Keep at it.
Appreciate you.
Keep at it. And then send me those 10 pages.
Gotcha.
And then we got to get moving. I gotta get off this live because my phone's about to die. Thanks, everybody. Wait, where's the? I'll lose the whole thing if it dies. I did last time. Yeah, I did that last time. I was like, damn. Okay. And you. and then we're done.
Quick.
Oh no, we got Daniel here. Danielle. Sorry. Yeah, let's get Danielle.
Okay.
Hey,
Hello.
hey,
Um,
how you doing?
mine's pretty good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Good.
About to go get my kids in a second. They got Nana Day right now. Little buoys. Um. So what's going on, Danielle?
So I pivoted a little bit. I was working on two projects, and it all kind of came from lived experience. So it's called The Way We Move,
Mhm.
and it's a hybrid documentary series. I was thinking the 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 fit would be the concept as a pilot, like the first episode as a pilot, but I'm not familiar with the fundamentals, so I would love any sort of feedback, like, hey, toss that out, or whatever the case may be as we go along the way. But it basically just it's about autistic Black women and how Black women who are autistic use humor, observation, sensory storytelling to just navigate the world. And the goal is to really kind of reveal the gap between our internal experiences, what's seen, what's not seen, and how that connects to the way that we move about the world,
Yeah.
how people see us, how it affects the communities that we live in, the children we're raising, the environments that we work through and live in, and hopefully allows Black women who are autistic to be seen in a way that we're very rarely seen,
Mhm.
but then also kind of bring people in who aren't really all that familiar with being neurodivergent in a lot
Right.
of ways.
Right.
So it's kind of the goal.
Okay, so where are you with it now?
So right now I had started a whole story Bible for the initial concept, and kind of I feel like I sort of put the cart before the horse. So the last 2 weeks I was able to kind of dial it back and really lean into what I really, really wanted to see. So I have, bless you, I have
Thank
just
you.
like a concept doc, and it kind of explains the lens, the form, and the tone. I'm trying to figure out the best approach. Should I just kind of pull out bullets from my concept doc, or just give you kind of a brief synopsis? I know we don't have a ton of time.
Well, it's more about I'll just send me the concept doc because
Okay.
it's irrelevant right now because I can't really give you feedback
Yeah.
on it. I think so you're stuck between whether you should continue down the road of this Bible or go and do a different kind of deck.
So, really, the two pieces are this. The short of it is, one is it's called Inheritance, and it basically comes from that same premise, the same lived experience of sort of life forcing this clarity through understanding autism in certain ways and how she navigates family life. It's given sort of a hybrid of like Insecure meets Little Fires Everywhere with a little bit of sprinkles of Moonlight.
Ooh,
So,
all right. All right. I messed with it.
but I feel like that's actually the bigger piece. And the reason for the pivot is the way we move, which is a little bit more condensed. Given my limited experience, it gives me an opportunity to get my feet wet and understand the process a little bit more as I develop it.
Yeah.
Also, it's like it's a little bit, it's a lower lift as a docuseries. So that was the reason for the pivot.
Yeah.
The life's work, big dream stuff, that's
Yeah.
Inheritance. The Way We Move is also life's work, pour it all in there. But I feel like you could actually be an engine for Inheritance.
Right.
So yeah, not today, but I would love feedback on The Way We Move.
Okay.
As sort of a short film pilot.
Oh, wait, a short film pilot. What?
So basically, like, eventually becoming an episodic series. Eventually,
Okay. So essentially, a short that could become a series. Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay. And so far, you have these documents that you've put some work into. How long have you been working on them?
About a month and a half.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so not very long,
Okay.
but I do have the story Bible for one. I have the full concept and the first episode for.
Wow, you've done a ton in that amount of time. That's
Really?
huge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That stuff takes a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's great. And
still learning. I've ordered the 2 books since we've been here, so it should be here tomorrow morning.
They need to give me a cut. Christopher Riley and Linda Seeger, you know, they need to give me a cut. Uh, so have you written anything else?
Nope, just those 2.
Okay. Okay. And what do you do on a regular?
I'm in PR and philanthropy and an entrepreneur. And this is the most unfamiliar and familiar territory at the exact same time. Like
Yeah.
I was a non-technical tech founder.
Yeah.
And it is very similar in
Yeah.
the way that I have experienced a major identity shift, and this clarity has allowed me to really just focus so much energy into
Yeah.
this passion of mine, which I know is filmmaking. So,
Yeah.
you know, I
You know, Ava DuVernay was in
Mhm.
PR.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ava DuVernay, you know, when she yeah, she was probably around 40 or something when she really popped off, maybe 38, you know, something like
Mhm.
that. Um she was in PR and she had done a hip hop doc here like 25 years ago, something like that. It was just kind of dabbling in it. Um but yeah, she was able to transition. Obviously, we know what's happened with Ava, and that's why I say like nobody really knows, and no one would have sort of tracked her and been like, oh yeah, she's gonna be the next this or that, or open the doors for
Yeah.
all these women in film and create, you know, array and do all this. Uh, but that's how the business is, you know, and
Yeah.
that's the sort of gift and curse of it, because there's this weird thing where the business is not necessarily about a meritocracy. It's not about like, oh, this is the best actor, this is the best, you know, writer, this is, you know, it's there's so many other elements involved.
Mhm.
And there's no guarantee that someone is going to succeed, and there's no guarantee that they're going to stay successful once they
Mhm.
do. How many people do we know that have like just completely fallen off or disappeared, or have just like crashed out in the business in a way? um but on the other side of that, there's this wonderful opportunity for anyone who's got um the door isn't necessarily closed to anyone, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
um
Mhm.
you think about guys like you know, the BMF crew, like my man was in prison for I don't know how long, and now he comes out and there's a whole show about him and his family. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, that's what movies and TV are, you know. It's like,
Absolutely.
who knows? So yeah, let's just start whenever you're ready to send me one of the things. Let's just start there, and then we'll go from there. But thank you for joining, and yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. All right, y'all. That'll do it for CS number 4. If anybody has any questions for me, I'll talk a little bit. I think I mentioned earlier, my team, I got some feedback on this thing I'm writing, which is kind of a bigger swing for me, like a kind of a it's the soul of my Sundance stuff, but like the scale of Denis Villeneuve and Dune, you know what I mean? So um uh about this guy who this genius down in Natchez, Mississippi, who gets a job on this sort of orbital weather machine, you know, and um, only to discover that it's the guy who's running it is using it almost like a weapon, so it kind of controls the Earth. But that's a terrible synopsis because I haven't done a synopsis for it yet, but yeah, I finally got some feedback and it's really good. So I'm gonna go back at that like in this week or next, probably this upcoming week. Uh, and yeah, I'm about to start on this film eventually. We're getting closer. So yeah, anybody got questions for me, then you can ask. Go ahead.
Quick question. I heard her mention the character Bible. And
Mhm.
how important is the character Bible, not just for the actor, but for when you're pitching your
Oh, character Bible is humongous. Yeah, you got to have a page on each person. You got to have you know, who they are, where they born, all that stuff.
so you say a page is suffice.
About a page, yeah, on each person. Character Bible, yeah, that's huge. That's huge, huge.
how they know the others, how they're related to this one's wife, this one's kid. Something about them, like, you know, I remember doing that when I was at HBO with my show. I mean, it was intense. I mean, I had like it was two brothers, and it was dealing with big pharma and versus street drugs, which that conversation I'm very interested in. Like I think it's, you know, of all of America's crimes, I think one of the greatest is how they treated our community when we had a drug problem versus how it's suddenly this epidemic. You know, I'm like, oh, now it's a health problem. Now it's a now there's funding. You know, now you can go to treatment instead of jail. Because none of our uncles or daddies or cousins or anybody got that kind of grace. You know what I mean? They were like, y'all niggas criminals, bro. You going to prison, you know? And it decimated our community. So not only were we dealing with a huge health epidemic with the amount of drugs that were poured into the community, but also now dealing with the prison industrial system, which, you know, you remove one father, you now remove, you know, it is devastating for the kids, for the community, for the economy. Like it's a, and so anyway, I did my story was about a brother who remained in the streets, another brother who was in his residency at a hospital. So he sort of dealt with the big pharma side. And I remember HBO was just like wanted more and more and more in the way of who these people were, to the point where I'm like talking about what they were doing in elementary school. And this one was like selling candy. He used to sell candy after school, and he was eventually like, this happened and that happened. And, you know, so yeah, that's huge for something, is a character Bible. Yeah. Anybody else? All good. Cool. Good to see y'all. Appreciate everybody, and good work today. That's so crazy that like I still all the stuff I'll be saying, and I do the same thing. I literally did it when I was doing my like when I was describing my film. You know, I did the same thing that I was talking about. Yeah, isn't that crazy? But that's part of this, is in real time. That's why I say at the beginning, I'm not a guru. I'm not no professor. Like, you know, it's kind of like Denis Villeneuve. I mean, a little bit like a little something.
My mom called it, don't put any extra water in the Kool-Aid.
Mm.
You got perfectly made Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm very excited about this one. You know, it's a I feel like I got the indie, like I've gotten certain stories out and I feel great about them, but moving to this next space of like the bigger sci-fi thriller kind of stuff is yeah. Cool.
I like to talk about space as well, particularly acting in it, but I tried my in writing it, and I thought it was pretty good. I worked on something called Inkling.
Called what?
Inkling.
Inkling.
Ideas don't come from you, they come to you.
Ah, that's good. Yeah.
It's supposed like I added like the two cross the paths. Like if you take this positive, so to speak, the positive idea and how it's always hovering, and then the pessimistic idea and it's always hovering.
Thanks for showing up, y'all. Peace.
One opportunity, you know, how they present themselves on camera. So it was like a real person that you don't see, but I've had